today we'll be going over our WrestleMania 41 predictions that we did before Royal Rumble. Now that we have the official card for WrestleMania 41, I think it's about time we go back, see what we got wrong and what we got right, and yeah, see kind of how close, and yeah, should be pretty fun.
Yeah, tomorrow we will have our official WrestleMania predictions, followed by our official Stand Deliver predictions after that. But right now we're going to get into our previous predictions that we had for WrestleMania. This isn't our current one, just to reiterate.
Yeah. So we start off with night one, where Rhea Ripley was going to be taking on Io Sky for the Raw Women's Champion. Now this is kind of correct, even though we did get in real life Bianca Belair added to this match.
Yeah, having Bianca added to it, I'm not too mad at it. Obviously, Bianca does have her big WrestleMania streak, so it gives her reason to believe that she could win. Obviously, everyone wants Io Sky to win. She might be going into this match as the fan favorite, honestly. A lot of people are loving Io Sky's work right now. And then Rhea Ripley is Rhea Ripley. She always has a chance to win in any match. So this is a very, people say it's badly, but I don't necessarily think it was bad. They built it up over the past few weeks pretty good. But yeah, definitely a wrong prediction. We predicted Rhea versus Io, but at least we got it somewhat right.
And then next up for the Intercontinental Champion, we had Braun Breaker defending against Ilya Dragunov. Now obviously this is pretty wrong because Ilya Dragunov never came back just yet. But this is kind of one of our bold ones that if he was able to return, he would be the opponent. I mean, that would be the case, but we did end up getting Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, I'm not mad at our current version of what we got at the Intercontinental Champion match at all. But I didn't necessarily think Penta would get kind of put into a title picture this early. It doesn't necessarily happen that much in the WWE, even though I guess in NXT, everyone who comes to NXT gets a title. But yeah, on the main roster, Penta is gonna get it that quick, it seems, because I am pretty much gonna predict him in our video tomorrow. But yeah, just didn't expect Ilya to miss this much time, unfortunately, but things happen.
Yeah. And then next up for the Raw Tag Team Champions, we had the New Day going in as champions, taking on the Usos. Now, obviously, we were very wrong on this one because, like I said, this was recorded before Royal Rumble, and Jey Uso would go on to win the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, but I think I'd almost rather this match than what we got with him versus Gunther now.
Yeah, I think, in hindsight, maybe I would have picked Usos versus, maybe the Profits or something like that. But New Day versus Usos always going to be a good match. It's a classic match to revisit anytime that you can revisit it, especially on a big WrestleMania stage.
And then next up for the Women's Intercontinental Champion, we had Dakota Kai winning that tournament, and she would be taking on Becky Lynch. Now, obviously, this one is very wrong as well because neither of them are either the champion or the company. Becky Lynch is still taking some time off, and Dakota, obviously, like I mentioned, didn't win the champion. We ended up getting the Intercontinental Champion not on the card completely, but she is in a tag team match now.
Yeah, very weird. We have Lyra and Bayley teaming up versus Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles, even though Lyra is your women's IC title, who hasn't been booked great. She's had a couple defenses, has been better recently, but yeah, as a whole, I would say the IC title as a whole hasn't been booked correctly. Becky Lynch not being part of Mania, it kind of, maybe that's the missing piece we kind of feel like we're needing. I thought it would be Charlotte, but when she did come into the fold, didn't really feel that, that need for me, whatever that need might have been. And, yeah, maybe it was Becky all along that I was kind of looking for to do it.
And then in our John Cena match, his last WrestleMania, we had him going against Dominic Mysterio. Now, I think at the time we wanted John Cena to go against somebody young because we didn't think he was going to win the Rumble or the Chamber, and this was going to be his way to get on the card. But obviously, knowing what happened now, John Cena going to win the Chamber, and it's going to get in the main event of WrestleMania 41. But yeah, still, I don't hate that pick at all. Obviously, now both men are still in the card, which is nice. So kind of did get that right. But yeah.
Yeah, I believe our idea behind booking Cena versus Dominic was on his final year. He's just going to kind of wrestle everyone. He was going to have a lot of matches. Every time he would come, he would have maybe a short 5-10 minute match, something like that, and just kind of put over people, or maybe, obviously you have to win a few as well. But that's kind of our prediction of what we had going into WrestleMania, but that's not been the case at all. He is not wrestling he's not wrestled yet outside of the chamber. But it's a completely new thing with him turning heel. So obviously, I like what we have now more. But like you said, I wouldn't have necessarily minded John Cena versus Dominic. That would have been a very fun heel versus mega heel versus mega face and a match. That would have been cool.
And then in the main event of night one for the World Heavyweight Champion, we had Gunther defending his champion versus CM Punk. Now, technically, this is kind of right in some ways. We had CM Punk main eventing. We had Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Champion, but obviously Gunther will be going against Jey Uso now, and Punk is in the triple threat match with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and once again, our reasoning for this is CM Punk. I believe both of us had him winning the Royal Rumble as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason for that one.
Yeah. But now let's go into night two, where we're going to kick off the show with Roman Reigns taking on Seth Rollins in an I Quit match. Now, technically, this is right similar to the way we had Rhea and Io. We went the singles route, and yeah, both of them are fighting each other, but now they're going to be in the main event of night one. So yeah.
And that's kind of the story of a lot of these matches. We put them in singles matches, and WWE put them in multi-man matches, or they didn't make the card at all, or their champion is not being defended, but they're in the tag title match instead. So very weird booking. We have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and an I Quit match is what we predicted. But it is a triple threat match with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. So I'm not mad at what we have either.
And then next up, the first one we got completely right. For the SmackDown Women's Champion, we did predict Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Now, I think we had Charlotte Flair winning the Chamber instead of Royal Rumble, I do believe. But we still got this match correct, so yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like this match for the past, maybe 2-3 weeks, something like that. I've been very interested in everything they've been doing ever since Tiffany got eaten up by Charlotte on the mic, and then Tiffany came back and did the whole thing that everyone's been talking about online and everything, talking about her divorce and all that. But yeah, definitely excited for this match. It's a match that everyone wanted going into Mania, and we got it.
And then for the United States Champion, our match was AJ Styles, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes. Now this one again is pretty wrong. AJ Styles still in the card. Andrade and Carmelo, unfortunately, as of right now, aren't going to be at WrestleMania 41, which is a real bummer because they were killing it on SmackDown for multiple weeks on end, and now for them to be completely left off is a bit unfortunate. But AJ Styles, as I said, is on the card with Logan Paul now. But this new United States Champion is now LA Knight and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I honestly like the LA Knight Jacob Fatu more in a way. Obviously, AJ Andrade Carmelo would have been a great match. However, I do think that crowning Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania will be very good for him to win that first title on a big stage.
Yeah. And then for the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, right now on our predictions, we had DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, and the Creeds. But unfortunately, none of these teams are going to be at WrestleMania as of right now. This is recorded, obviously, the day it goes out. So, yeah, it isn't really looking so good for them. But who knows? This Friday could be the last saving hope.
Yeah, there's hope for the title to get on. It definitely deserves a spot with all the build that it's had, with all the momentum that all these teams kind of came together and put just something to make the tag team titles worth achieving, basically.
Yeah.
They kind of just made it feel special again. So for it not to be on the title is very disappointing.
And then next up, we had Jade Cargill take on Bianca Belair, which is technically correct. Like I said earlier, we had Jade, who was going against Naomi now, and Bianca, who got added to that Rhea Ripley Io Sky match. So we did get them, at least we put them on the card, but just in their own matches.
Yeah, Jade versus Naomi is one of the matches that I'm very excited for going into WrestleMania. It was built amazingly, in my opinion. I love the character of the current version of Naomi and this heel, just kind of, like I said, version of her. And then also Jade Cargill just looking like this monster who just wants to take her out every time she sees her. It's awesome.
And then for our next match for the Women's United States Champion, we had Chelsea Green taking on Naomi. Now, obviously, Naomi, we mentioned, had the match with Jade Cargill now. And unfortunately for Chelsea, it looks like she won't be on WrestleMania at all.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. I have some hope for Chelsea Green to get on the card somehow. Maybe teased a little bit that it may be Zelina. However, that is kind of looking like a SmackDown before match at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, and then in our main event of WrestleMania 41, we had Cody Rhodes taking on Drew McIntyre. Now, unfortunately, this isn't the match we got. However, we are getting John Cena and Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest in a street fight. So at least we got them both on the card. And I think this was very brave and bold. We kind of just thought that Drew would get rewarded in some way after his great year in 2024. But it's still at least on the card at the very least.
Yeah, I think it would have been really cool after the year of their huge feud between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, that at the end of the next Mania, they're both the new champions, and it'd be a very cool moment at King and Queen of the Ring where they would have to face each other at that point, or Crown Jewel actually. Whichever one it is where the champions face each other, that would have been a really cool moment where they kind of realized, oh shit, we just went through this big blood feud, we finally kind of forgot about each other, and now we're facing each other again.
Yeah.
So that would have been really cool, but yeah, it's not going to go that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, but yeah, we did end up getting at least one correct. We did get a lot of people on the card, at least some, like you said, were kind of bold and a little bit just very hopeful, I think. Do you rather this card that we booked or the one that we actually got now?
Honestly, probably the one that we have now, just because I kind of like the way things are to lead into just future things, and like this WrestleMania is gonna end a lot of things, at least hopefully so, and that's kind of what I'm expecting to come out of this Mania, just a complete reset kind of.
But yeah, that is our reacting to our early WrestleMania predictions. Let us know what you guys thought of our list. Let us know your earlier predictions that you got right. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.